Good morning, grade 9 students of EPC. This is Mr. Potts here, and I just wanted to make a video of the instructions that you have above you on Google Classroom, really introducing the unit that is going to carry us through the next several weeks, potentially 4 to even 6 weeks. It'll carry us through to certainly into June. We're doing a class novel. We're going to be doing a class novel. Now, some of you have not done a class novel yet this year. Maybe there's a chance you haven't done a class novel yet. Class novels are different than individual novel studies or group novel studies, and I want to explain what I mean by that. In an individual novel, you're reading, right? You're choosing, you pick the book, and a few of you or only you are doing the book. A class novel is we are all the students in the classroom and the teacher covering the same novel. Now, typically these novels are going to be more complex, the higher end of what we're wanting you to cover. That's on purpose. We're going to stretch your vocabulary. We're going to stretch your critical thinking skills. We're going to show you narratives that have complex plots, themes, things like that. I'm gonna read this book, discuss this book with you, show you, model how I connect, reflect, discuss. Other teachers will do this too. And so that way, as you read, you're going to be picking up points that we want to point out. We'll get leading to discussion that'll elevate your thinking. There'll be reading comprehension quizzes, yes, every couple of weeks. There'll be a creative project, and this will culminate in an essay, which would have come around the time of your PAT anyway. So I think this will be valuable. Now, this book, The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman, is one of the most successful children's fiction books of all time. In fact, one of the most successful books, period. Forget children's fiction. When it comes to children's fiction, the highest, the gold standard, I guess, when it comes to money made and copies sold would be the Harry Potter franchise. But The Golden Compass is up there, too. In fact, I think it beat for... in some categories on lists, some of the Harry Potter books. There's been movies made, a TV series made by it, lots of versions and published copies of it. I have taught this book for many years. I've run dozens of classes through it. The school, EPC, owns a couple of class sets of it. We've probably bought a couple of hundred copies of it over the last 12 years that I've been at EPC. We own the audio books, the e-books. There's websites that have it up there. We've got the movies. We own the movies. So we've covered this book 6 ways from Sunday. And why that matters is I need you to get a copy of the book, right? So I left about 50 copies of the novel, physical copies, for those of you that want a physical book to read. There's about 50 copies of it EPC on the tables where you pick up your work that your parents can pick up or that you can pick up. You'll have to sign it out. So if it's not returned by the end of the year, just like in the classroom, right, you'd have to pay for it. You don't need to get one, though. I will share the ebook and the audio book for those of you that want to read on your phone or just listen to the book. That's fine, too, that want to cover this book. Okay, so we got lots of ways for you to get the book. Then I'll be posting YouTube videos of discussion. We'll have our weekly Google meetings with the other teachers and myself leading this discussion of the book. So every week you'll have to do reading. Every couple of weeks there'll be some kind of assessment, probably an online quiz or comprehension quiz to make sure you're on track. But this will stretch your thinking. This book is about a female protagonist, a young 12-year-old girl named Lyra Balakwa, and she lives in a parallel universe. It's kind of like ours, but not really. And she lives in Oxford. Oxford University. She calls it Jordan College, but it's Oxford University. Philip Pullman, the author, went to Oxford. And maybe my students know that my dream is to take a class at Oxford. And if any of my students ever get into Oxford, I will have your framed portrait on my classroom wall with a light on it. And whenever any kid in the future asks, "Who's that, Mr. Potts? Is that your child?" No, I'll play you theme music and tell the story of your journey. You will be legend. Not putting pressure on you. Just, yes, I am. Whatever. Anyway, so this book is about this girl at Oxford, and she ends up going on a journey to the Arctic, and she encounters some incredible characters, and forces are rallied against her, and she's taking on a dark, array of antagonists. There's talking polar bears that sumo wrestle and kill each other and use flamethrowers and have opposable thumbs, so that's awesome. It's just a fantastic book. So we're going to be covering it together over the next several weeks. Your task this week primarily is to get a copy of the book. Just use it electronically, or if you need to get a copy physically, whatever. Make sure you have a copy to read and get reading, okay? Over the next couple of weeks, that's going to be your primary task. Get reading and make sure you're checking for understanding and maybe looking at some videos that I'll be posting, guiding you through the reading of the first several chapters. A word about class novels. one of the reasons we're doing this, the main reason we're doing this, is you guys are about to go to senior high, right? And as grade 9s. And in senior high, it's exclusively class novels, not individual novel studies. So you need to get used to this. So because of that, and I've taught senior high for many times, I hear a lot of complaints. Sometimes, well, I often hear complaints in a class novel, things like but I don't like it," this kind of whining complaint. And I don't want to sound harsh, but I don't care. You're missing the point. When you're doing a novel for academic study, it's not about personal enjoyment, right? I don't care. I hope you like the book. I love it. I hope you do, but I don't. In the end, whatever. If you don't, too bad. I've learned a lot from books I can't stand. From books I've hated, I learned a lot. We're not reading for fun. We're reading for academic understanding. So please, before you bring complaints of like, "But I don't like it" or whatever, like that has any weight, just know that's not the point. So I don't really care. It's about understanding and learning from this book, because there's a lot to teach us, whether you like it or not. There's a lot for it to get us discussing. So that's what we're doing. Get ready. I hope you like it. I hope you like the unit. I think it'll be fun, and it'll keep us reading while the weather gets warmer. All the best, everybody.